Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video, and we are here to talk about everything electrical, connecting generators, creating generators that turn on automatically, and this is all in official settings, by the way. Armored generators, armored cables, armored outlets, hiding cables, protected cables, all these things. I'm going to walk through every aspect of it with you right now. These are all on official settings. Just so you know, you can see right here that we have a generator. Obviously, duh. Now we have another generator over here. Duh. Now what we're able to do is you can enable unpowered auto activation, and what'll happen is as soon as this one loses power, this one's going to automatically start up, and then vice versa. So if this guy loses power over here, this one's going to start up over there. Now, some of you are like, ooh, that's interesting. But why would it be important? Now, what you want to do is it's actually a great way to make your turret towers never turn off. Think about it this way. If you have a turret tower over here and a turret tower over there, and they're connected via cable, and someone's like, haha, I got you, and they blow up the generator, the turrets aren't going off if they're connected to another generator somewhere else. So having this sort of setup is an amazing thing, and it's really easy. So let's go ahead and show you how to do it right off the bat. I'm going to go ahead and build a quick foundation in order to attach these two. It's not a huge deal. You do not have to do this, but it can help quite a bit. So very simply, slop down your generator. We're going to go ahead and put down a cable. Does not matter where. We're just going to have it so we can connect to it. Now, in the case where you have it on the floor like this, your generators will snap, and that's a good thing. You want them to snap because it means you know they're connected for sure. Now, we're going to put 2 gas in here because every time it enables auto activation, it's going to automatically smack a gas. So you have to enable the auto activation power on both of them. We're going to go and turn this guy on, and notice how it is connected to this guy. So it powers all these cables. So everything here is working. We're going to go ahead and slot down a box in the middle so you can see that it works. There you go. You can see the little colors of it. Now if we turn this guy off, that one's going to start up, and then vice versa over here. This guy's going to turn on. So all things being considered, it's a great way to prevent yourself from being raided, because the more generators you have, the harder it is to blow up your base. Now, the next easy thing, these guys are very easy to see right now. Obviously, someone gets in your base, the first thing they're doing is taking a C4 and blowing up your generator. So how do you protect yourself from that? Now, one of the easiest ways is creating an armored generator. Now, all you have to do in order to do that is build a 3x3 without a center. Now, you can build the armored generator just like this and then slap down this guy right here. Now, what you can do, essentially, you cannot put this in there unless you're on an unofficial server where you can, and then it protects the generator that way. But what a lot of people have a tendency to do is they're going to smack down this right here. You got all 4 walls around that generator, so now it's inside of your base. They're going to have to blow up an extra layer in order to get to that generator alone. Now, you can also plop down a cable right there, and you're good to go. Or if you'd prefer to have the cables on the ground, you can also slap down this guy right here and then use a electrical connector cable in order to connect the two and kind of like hide it in the middle there. Now, this guy will allow you to have full access to pretty much everything right there, and boom, you can see it's really not that difficult to create an armored generator. Now, that's the easy way to do an armored generator. Now, you can, if you get it low enough, have a generator that can function with a ceiling on top of it, but it's not entirely something that is always guaranteed to have, if that makes any sense at all. So you could find an area low enough where it's like a small divot in the center where you can totally submerge your generator, but it's not always the most likely. Now let's say you created this generator right here, right? And you want to connect it to these guys over here. Boom, easy, 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 easy. All you have to do is connect them via a flexi-wheel cable, and boom, you've got access to all this now. Now, we're going to go ahead and... Yeah, I did. We're going to go ahead and connect this guy to number 7, number 5. There we go. All right, everything's back to normal again. Now, we're going to try and access the generator, but because I've put it in an interesting location, there we go. So, we're going to go ahead and turn on this generator right here. I'm going to turn it off again, just to show you that it's connected. And we're going to turn this guy off and show you that we have now activated this guy right here to this network, which is pretty nice, obviously. Now, one thing that I will tell you is if someone blows up one of your generators that is your main generator and you lose power, what's going to happen is any generator connected to that network underneath enable auto activation will turn on. So after being raided or during a raid, you can check your generators in order to figure out which ones are actually powered. So that is how you connect generators. Very simple to do. This is not pretty by any means, but it works. It's something that's very easy to accomplish. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you the next important part. How to make armored wires. Now, it's pretty easy. It's not something that's going to cost you a lot or be difficult in any way, shape, or form. You just have to figure out the right area in order to do it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find an area just like this. You can see that I've got my, however you want to call it, my foundation down. And I'm going to go ahead and go a little bit further over here where I know it's a little bit higher, right here. So basically, I'm going to start my generator area off based on this area right here. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do everything combined. I'm just showing you how to hide your cables. You can connect your cables just like that. And then what you do, pretty easy, pick up your generator, pick up your metal floor. That's not the metal floor. I'm going to have to demolish that apparently. And now, see how the floor is actually high enough to hide the electrical cable underneath it? Yeah, that works just fine. And you can essentially create a giant network of totally submerged cable. I would do the cable a little bit ahead of time, or as you're building the flooring unit. It makes it a lot easier. And that's something that I would do, but that's your personal opinion. And I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. Now that we've got our hidden cables, you can see they are totally submerged underneath the foundation. And all you have to do is add a couple of outlets underneath there ahead of time. You can hide them wherever you want, but your cable is now going to be protected, which is pretty nice. Now, the reason that this is so valuable is because when you have protected cable like this, no one can just use a C4 and blow up a large portion of it. Also, one last thing. Make sure you're using intersections, because intersections allow you to connect a whole bunch together. So if someone blows up this section right here, this section counts as a wire and allows everything in your base to still be powered. So you can see it's working just fine right now. And oops, there we go. You can see very protected, very safe. There's nothing wrong with it. Super nice to have access to all this. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get a generator up right here. Oh, I can. I saw it. I saw it. I had it. I had it. Where is it? There it is. All right, so you can see you can connect the generator. You can do this in a different way. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. See, still powered. Pretty nice. If you really wanted to also have this and a protected generator, what you can do is take that generator and find a spot where you'd like to have it. Do that same thing we just talked about. Lower your generator into the area you want it, just like so. We're going to go ahead and plop down a vertical cable. You can use other cables. You do not need to use a vertical. If you wanted to, see I've got a connector cable down there, or a intersection cable. Then you just have to connect it via that guy right there. Now you can also make it look prettier. I'm going to go ahead and do that because it's going to bother me if I don't. Just like that. So now it's all connected. Now see, not low enough to go ahead and add a ceiling over the top of it, but we're getting pretty close right there. What you can do, add a couple of gas to it, turn on the enabled auto unpowered activation, just like so. And notice how it's not running, but it's got gas in there. As soon as this connection network loses power, it's not going to actually lose power because this guy is going to go ahead and start everything up. And you have access to a fully powered generator. Now, this guy, super easy to use. Again, I would build him as an armored thing right here. I'm going to go ahead and put a ceiling over the top, just like that. Now you have a completely armored generator. In order to blow up your electronics network, they're going to have to blow up your entire base if you do a couple of these around the base. I would have 4 or 5 inside my base, all on enable auto power activation, and they're going to make it so people can't just blow up your generators. They have to work very hard at it. Now, this is something you should definitely use, by the way, in case you haven't figured that out already. Even if you just have a single turret tower, having 2 or 3 generators there on enable auto power activation, because people think they're really clever when they're raiding and they go straight for your generator. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go straight to the generator, try and make sure that they can get as many bullets and whatever they want as possible. So if you have 3 or 4 and they're going to not be able to figure out where 2 of them are, it's going to take them much, much longer and give you more time to defend, which is a big, big thing. Now, we've talked about armored generators. We've talked about armored electrical wires, how to connect your generators, how to hide everything. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how to create multiple layers or multiple floors. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. And this will be kind of like the last thing, and this is how to like properly set up your network. We're going to go ahead and slap down a generator like it's on the first floor, and I'm going to put down that right there. Now, what I want you to notice is these guys, give or take, go up about a wall and a half per time, give or take. And they go up about a wall and a half, a little bit less technically. So what you can do is every 4 walls, you'll need to place 2. And once you place those 2 at that 4 wall mark, you'll be able to place down this guy on underneath side of it. So I would usually do it like this, and you're going to want to create a layer for this cable network so people cannot just blow up your cable network. Now, at this point, I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like here. If you were to not create a protected network of cable for this floor right here, the issue with that is pretty simple. There we go. If someone takes a rocket or if someone takes some C4, they can blow that up right away. Or if they get inside there with a sword or a tech sword, you're in trouble. However, because of how this stuff works, if you put this right here in a protected floor like you see right here, it'll be very difficult for them in an extra layer in order to cause problems. Now, it is protected by a layer again. You can see, you can't even see it above, and it's just a one tall layer that protects your cables right beneath the surface. If you wanted to get really fancy with it, you could put individual boxes if you have the resources to do it, and make it so that raiding the space, or at least blowing up the cables, is going to be the last thing somebody wants to do. If you have a bunch of turrets on your roof, it's going to make it impossible to just get down and blow up cables. Oop. And then obviously you can hide some generators inside this layer as well. So this is how you should build your upper layers of your base with protected cable networks. Now, again, I'm going to show you generators can be quite interesting in this situation because the top is going to stick through the floor. So people are going to go right to that spot and try and blow up that generator. But if you have it connected to this lower layer with enable auto-powered activation, they're not going to be able to do much about it. So I want you to think about that. Now, one more thing you can do, and this is a little bit of a cheeky thing, is you can hide your generators in the air. Now, again, we're going to put another layer just above this guy. People never expect you to have a generator on top of a generator. That's some Inception level stuff right there. Basically what you can do is we're going to go ahead and snap this guy. We're not going to be able to actually snap him. So we're going to go ahead and place another floor right here because I'm not going to take the time to do that right now. We're going to go ahead and plop down a generator right here. Now we'll go ahead and put another wall there. You can also connect this one to your cable network. Does not matter how you do so, but as long as you connect it to your cable network like that, it is now a part of the network and can be turned on to power everything. See, it powers everything, and it's hidden so people are not going to find this when they raid you. Now, you can place it however you want. Obviously, I didn't do a great job on it, but having a little box like that where your generator exists is very useful because people are not going to check in like a little mini layer in the middle for a generator. Not first, at least. They're going to figure out that your power is not turning off, and then that's how they're going to start looking for it. But if you have enough turrets, as long as those turrets stay on, you'll be pretty set. So that is another way to protect yourself using generators. Now, this is obviously low-level stuff. You can make it much more advanced. This is just basic how to connect it, protect it, and stuff like that. It is super easy, and not enough people do this. But it's not that difficult to build better for PvP, and it just takes a little bit of extra time. Again, I would do multiple layers like you see me doing right now with a a protected cable layer, and that's how I would personally do it. But it's, again, up to you. But this is like a way to prevent yourself from being raided, or at least frustrate the people trying to raid you, because the more work they have to put in, the less they're going to want to complete the raid. That's just how it works, because more time, especially for a base that's on electrical wires, is not something somebody's going to want to put in. So it's just a waste of their time. And not only that, but to make yourself feel better. The more time you can waste on somebody's part, the happier you're going to be. So anyways, hopefully this video helps you out. This is how to properly set up electrical networks in Arc. So hopefully it helps. All right, anyways, teach out.